Welcome everyone, I'm Scott from Beyond the Fan. Thank you for joining me today. In today's video, I'm going to be covering some new IP I'd love to see come to the VEVE app. I think it would be a huge benefit to everyone on the app. It'd be an increase of people coming to the app because it'd be such a mega drive for people to come here. I'm going to get right into it and just dive into it and cover kind of the top five I'd like to see. And I think you might be surprised by some of the ones I mentioned. So these aren't ones that are officially coming, just things I'd like to see happen and come forth for the next few months. And starting off with, number 5 for me would be Ghost in the Shell. So obviously anime is a hugely popular just now. Ghost in the Shell, for you who don't know, is kind of set in the future, and it really merges real life, online life, and the virtual cyber world, AR world. So for me that's a perfect contender for VEVE because it kind of really targets that huge potential we have of having our digital collectibles appear via VR and AR in the real world. So Ghost in the Shell is one of those major global IPs, huge popular fan base, very dedicated fan base, and I think that'd be an amazing IP, would work well for technology behind VEVE and NFTs. So that's number 5 on my list. Similar to Ghost in the Shell, number 4 on my list is The Matrix. So again, for you who don't know, Matrix, spoilers if you haven't seen The Matrix, it is about 20 years old though. So is this idea of machines controlling people, using them as batteries and processors by putting them inside a simulated world, a matrix world. People discover this, get powered and try and get out and fight the machines. Is a very brief recap, but the idea of the Matrix, of this merge of reality and simulation, of seeing Matrix code, of seeing agents, of seeing Neo, Trinity, of Morpheus, etc. I think that'd be hugely popular on the app and bringing people to the app, and really makes good use of the technology around NFTs and the idea of that almost Ready Player One style of bringing together the virtual and the real in the one space. The Matrix is very much about that, so I think that's a really interesting IP to come out. So the fact that the Matrix 4 is coming out end of the year 2021 is, I think, an ideal opportunity to kind of make use of this technology, pose those interesting questions around what's real and what's not, and the whole AR VEVE app would be such a huge potential draw for people, and really make use of the whole Matrix 4 marketing campaign. So number 3 on my list is, again, one I think is not a huge surprise, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about. So we have had Marvel content on the app, but this Marvel content we've had has been from the comics and the collectible side of things. But what I'd really like to see is the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe, the actual films and TV shows on Disney Plus, their IP in terms of characters and stories, if they had to make an appearance on the actual app. So if you had to get an Iron Man helmet, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. had, it could put on and wear as part of that VR, AR situation. I think the MCU is hugely popular just now, especially after the past 3 phases and ending with Endgame, where it's kind of really popular. And having stuff like that would really grab people's attention, bring in a lot more normal people into the app, and create a huge demand for existing collectibles, as well as introduce a whole bunch of new collectibles, whether that's Iron Man's pieces of armor, whether it's Thor's hammer, etc. Imagine having on your wall behind you, in that AR world, Thor's hammer, Cap's shield, etc. There's such a huge number of possibilities that we could see if they brought in the official MCU content and not just the wider Marvel Comics content. So that's why I think it's really important to see that. Number 2 on my list might be a surprise from people. It's not number 1, but I've put Pokemon as at number 2. And the reason why it's not number 2 and not number 1 is Pokemon would be amazing in terms of NFT. Pokemon Go, the trading cards, the video games. It's hugely popular, hugely collectible, a huge demand for it already. Bringing in and tapping into existing base of fans and bringing them on board with VEVE would be huge. There'd be a huge demand for the collectibles themselves, would be very popular and therefore very expensive. So it'd be a huge draw for people. The reason why I put it number 2 is I'm not too sure what the plans Nintendo would have if they would want to license it out to that extent to another third-party organisation. I kind of get a feeling that Nintendo would want to keep something like that to themselves and bring out their own NFT products specific for Pokemon Go. So you'd have your Pokeball, float out, Pikachu appears, that'd be fantastic to see in VEVE, but I don't know if they'd actually go that far. They might keep it for themselves as their own product to bring out on a future console like Switch, DX, etc., or their own separate NFT platform. So that's why I put it number 2, because whilst I think it'd be hugely popular, there's so many things you could just do it right now, not to mention the possibilities in the future. Given that Nintendo's are quite protective of IP, I'm not too sure how likely it would be to appear, so I put it as number 2. Number 1 is a huge favourite, is Star Wars. I think that would be an amazing IP to have. We've already got Disney products on the app already through Marvel stuff. So having things like Star Wars, having a TIE Fighter, a Death Star, a Star Destroyer, a lightsaber, Darth Vader walking, you know, so many different things you could do there. Hugely popular, again, bringing that wider fan base. And because we already have Disney IP in terms of Marvel already here, for me, it's a no-brainer that Star Wars is just going to make an appearance at some point. It would be hugely popular amongst Star Wars collectors, amongst normal people, and amongst NFT collectors. You imagine owning one of the first NFT TIE Fighters or X-Wings, or a Death Star, Star Destroyer, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, lightsaber. That's just the 10 things off the top of my head. There's huge potential for Star Wars on VEVE. So thank you very much for joining me. That's my kind of 5 incoming IPs I'd love to see on VEVE, and my reasons why. Thank you for sticking me this long. I always try and share a bit of Scottish culture with people who make it this far. Something new I'm trying out. So one of the words, or sorry, one of the phrases we use quite often in Scotland is "Do you ken?" Do you ken? So that means do you understand? So it might mean do you understand a thing, a concept, or a person. Do you ken someone? Do you know them? So for example, do you ken VEVE Vision? Would be me asking in Scotland, you know, do you know, have you heard of VEVE Vision? So just like kind of share, I don't know how people respond to that, but if you do like that kind of thing, please let me know in the comments, and also please share with me what IPs you'd like to see come to VEVE, or if you disagree with ones I've said, please tell me why. I always really do enjoy hearing from people in the comments. So thank you very much. Please do smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and anything you can do to promote the channel really helps me out, and also helps the app out in terms of promoting the content to more people on YouTube. More people discover the content, will discover the app, and make our collectibles more valuable that we already own, and bring more people to the app, which give VEVE the opportunity to expand and capture some of these new IPs. So thank you very much. I do appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me today. If you liked the video, please do hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and please do check out some of our hints and tips for getting success on the VEVE app. Thank you, and I'll see you next video.